are. Thinking about it.
Preparing. Call this meeting to order at 5:36 p.m. Take a roll call, please.
President Kebrick,
Here.
Vice President Mack,
Here.
Board Member Dr. Schroed,
Here.
Board Member Fox. Here. Board Member Yeager. Here.
Move on to a reading of the district vision and mission statement from.
Challenge all students to achieve their full potential through engaging, responsive educational experiences that inspire critical thinking and collaboration. Our vision is to develop learners who are competent, compassionate, problem solvers.
Thank you. Now we'll take motions for approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
A second. Been properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? You can proceed to vote. All those in favor, state aye.
Aye.
All those
Aye.
opposed? Motion will carry. Go on to the good news report.
We have the middle school robotics team joining us today. Members of the, with jazz hands, very exciting.
Come on out, you're up.
Yes, good, come on over here.
Would you like us to move over there? We can walk over there.
I, if you can, if you'd like to, if I could toss it, you guys. Oh, sure, it's good. Hi, my name is Patrick Naberg. I'm the head coach for the middle school robotics program. I started this last year. Group of mostly seventh graders and a sixth grader, and they were successful beyond anyone's wildest expectations. So it's very cool to be able to come back to it this year, having a little bit of a better understanding about what the season's about, what goes into all of this, how to be successful. So we have with us a few members of our 8th grade robotics team, Cosmic Snowballs. They won the Waterloo Regional, supposed to be in December, but then weather, so January. And then the first weekend in February, they placed top 5 at the state championship, which in and of itself is just a huge accomplishment. Most of the other top 5 teams are from West Des Moines. Several of them are, at least, so it's really cool that our kids here in Charles City are competing with the best of West Des Moines.
There's probably a couple hundred teams, is that right?
Yeah, so in the state of Iowa, there's 300 teams, 300 robotics teams, and so this year, 60 of those teams went to the state championship. So already that's only the top, like 1 in every 5 goes to state championship, and that's state championship. Of course, we have the top 5 there, so that's top 5 out of 300 in the state, which is a pretty huge accomplishment. So it's really important to me that this is accessible to all students. The last year it was kind of a joint venture. It was partially an in-school program, TAG program, partially an after-school program. And this year it was very important to me that it is available to any students. So these particular students are varsity, I guess. They've been at this since September. In September and October, there's some open practices, open to any students 5 through 8 who are interested in learning to code, program, build. We ended up with 3 competition teams this year. So an 8th grade team, a 7th grade team, and then a combination 5-6 team. 2 of those teams made it to the state championship. Both teams were top half in robotics. And then about a month ago, coming off of spring break, there was another month of, I called it like spring robotics league, where it was again open to any students who are interested, where all open practices were more focused on learning the basics of coding. Spring league is a chance for other students, any students who are interested, to be able to engage with some of these problems without quite the commitment of the competition season. So what they're doing right now is they're setting up all the missions. Part of a robotics competition, there's 4 categories. There's like core values, there's an innovation project where the students identify and work to solve a problem in the community. They iterate through various solutions, they communicate their solution to different groups, get feedback, use that feedback to make their solution better. And then there's their robot design presentation, and then what we call the robot game, or the robotics challenge. So it's a 4 foot by 8 foot arena, I guess, where there's a map. It's different every year, and on the map are anywhere between 12 to 15 missions. Each mission is worth 5, 10, 20, 30 points, and they have 2.5 minutes. It's okay if not everything's on. But so, Carter, go ahead and grab yours, because yours has been working mostly. So there are 12 to 15 missions. There's a total of like 600 points available from all the missions on the board, but the students only have 2.5 minutes. And so it's designed to be impossible to get full points. And so part of their problem solving is figuring out, well, which missions do we want to put together? And do we want to do these 3 together, or just maybe this one and this one, we could use a similar piece, because time becomes really the limiting factor. So the most impressive thing to me about all of this is that the robots, once they're on the board, they're autonomous. So the team will spend weeks and even months developing codes that will guide the robots around the board to the correct location, and then at that location, a certain attachment will swing or twist or lift to perform relatively simple tasks, but it's all autonomous. And then each completed task on the board is worth so many points. And I will say that this is the so we've got, what we do is we build like a core robot. On the robot, we've got wheels here to navigate around the field, and there's 2 motors that would move attachments. And so we have core robots, and then on these robots, can I get the gate here? There's a pair. So then onto these robots, we build attachments that slide in very quickly, because again, time is of the essence, and so we need attachments to be sturdy and secure, but also very quick to put on, take off, and be able to switch out for the next mission. Does want to say anything?
I'm Isaac. I like the color purple, do a little dance.
Related to robots, ideally.
Oh,
So we have Isaac, we have Carter, we have Sarah. So what I was saying, we're on our like 3rd different robot body for the season. So they've been doing this since September, and several times throughout the season, like after regionals, then you kind of say, well, how do we do what we did and make it better, right? What we did was good enough to win regionals, but we've got state in 3 weeks. So what can we change? What can we redo to be more competitive at state? And after state, we took a little break so we don't all burn out, because it ends up being a year-long program if they make it this far. The focus now has been, well, from state, what do we do to be competitive at an international? So because they got top 5 at the state championship, they are going to Massachusetts this summer, where they will be one of over 110 teams are officially registered, and there are over 30 countries represented. So our Charles City students are representing our schools, our community on an international level, which is just the coolest. And so our work now is, hey, we did great at state, but how do we redo this? How do we make it even better to be competitive now at an international level? Because every team at the tournament this summer is a top 5 team from one of the states across the US, or from whatever country they're coming from. So there's teams from the UAE and Spain and France and Germany and Japan and Korea, team from Uzbekistan. So like all over the world, and they're top 5, top 10 teams from their state or from their country. So it's not an exaggeration to say that the Cosmo Snowballers are going up against a selection of the best teams in 5 weeks. We're feeling some pressure. So I'll give you a quick demonstration. I'll let Carter demonstrate. And it's good that he's here because I would not have been able to demonstrate this myself. I'm here to notice a lot of things. So anyone who's like interested, please feel free. You're welcome to come and see. But I do a lot of noticing. Hey, I noticed that. Hey, I wonder if. And the work is it's all them. They code, they build, So I mean, credit to the kids. Everything cool that happens with the program is their work. Okay, where to go? Let's see if this works.
Right. Plan safety.
So we spent a few weeks building this piece, building the code. And he hits go, so the robot drives around. There's no remote controls, there's no anything. It's gonna lift this up. It's gonna drop off the shark in a certain area. Again, all of this gets us points. It makes it across to the other sort of home launch area. So this is what, 40 points, 20 seconds, roughly. So it's kind of this balance of you want to do several missions together for the sake of time, but not so many missions together that you are, the robot's always getting stuck or that there's too much error that comes up. Yes, sir.
I have a question.
No bias.
They're not related, so it's fun.
So is it, do you have to complete like the whole thing? So like if you drop the shark off, does it have to be within a certain area to get points? And is there less points if it's not exactly perfect or?
Yes. How would that work?
This is Mr. Mack. I don't know if you know him or not.
He's on our board.
So there's a circle and oval, I don't know if you can see it, but if the shark is touching inside of the circle or over the circle, you get a certain amount of points. So currently it is over the circle, so you will get points of that. There's no like bonus points, it's fully in the circle. If it's in or it's out.
Where does the shark start?
Oh, it starts over the shark on the game board, it starts over here. So we have a mission, I'm gonna get it. Which is something Ben kind of works on, but Ben is not here, he's gonna. He gets that off, and then you grab it because it's in one area. And then we come over here. This is a breakaway piece, so it's attached to the robot. It doesn't drive it. It hits it, it's not on very well, so it'll break away with the shark inside the area. That's how.
But does everything have to use the same materials to make their robots?
Yeah.
Like, will like all those world teams have to use like the shark's heavy, that's perfect, light sharks, so do they all use the same materials?
The missions are standardized across the whole world. It's quite an operation. There's like tens of thousands of teams worldwide. It's a huge program.
Do you get these kits at like the beginning of the season?
Yeah. So the new season, next year's theme is archaeology. Officially, missions drop in like early mid-August. So like a watch party or something. Yeah, as soon as the new season's announced, then you can pre-orders, and they send the orders out. So I try to have this close to the beginning of the year as possible. And yeah, it's authentic problem solving. It's right here's the thing we want to do, and I'm gonna try it, 150 times. I'm gonna get a solution that kind of works after 30 times, but then I make it better, and then we're gonna flip it. So you do a lot of trial.
And then you guys get a lot of points for talking about how you came up with your project too, right? You want to explain a little bit of that?
So what we do is there's a group of judges that will present on two things. We have an innovation project and then a robot design project. Each of these we have a trifle board. So on the board, we'll have our certain information. That information is what we present to the judge. And talking about how we did this, why we did this, how long it took. That's for the robot side. And our innovation project is a whole separate project and ways to better Iowa. Or at least that's what ours was, because we did a thing on carbon filters, which removes phosphates from water.
Thank you. I sat in on your presentation at stage, so it's good. Good job. This is your time to ask to give money, right? You're too.
Sponsoring. So really from a lot of ton of community support.
Not the school budget.
Not necessarily, no. So we share like an activities fund with the high school robotics team. They make real robots. We play with toys, but the high school team makes real robots, and what they do is even cooler, believe it or not. But we rely heavily on generosity from individuals, from corporations. We have a lot of really generous donors in the community who, you know, year after year, just help to give money so that we can register teams and sign up for the competition circuit. And, you know, each board admission is about $100. So there's kind of yearly costs. And then the being, you know, top 5 at state, that won't necessarily happen every year, but it's travel and lodging and transportation. So that's kind of our big fundraising kick this spring, is to cover costs to get these kids up to Massachusetts, where it's us against the world.
So I have an interesting question about the team name, Cosmic Snowballs. Is that a team name that gets to stay with the 8th grade team? Or is that something that you guys are gonna take with you on to high school?
Our plan is to retire the name.
Retire it.
Yes.
So we're gonna get a pennant for the gym and Cosmic Snowballs. 2024, 2025, okay.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Seems fair.
If anyone has questions or anything, please feel free to reach out. It's, yeah, just, if you wanna like talk with the kiddos, if you wanna learn more about what we do with websites, I can share videos that just, you know, explain each mission. So, very, very tremendously proud of the work that this team does, and all the kids who've been involved in robotics this year. Again, the credit is all to them. I hang out and notice a lot of things and ask them annoying questions. Sometimes I have to ask the same question 6 or 7 times. I'm like, fine, we'll deal with it. But it's all their work, right? They program, they build, they do their own research, they do everything. So yeah, I would not have been able to execute that mission at Carter not been here. So again, just really credit and good work to the kids.
Good job, guys. You do a great job. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your time.
Now move on to welcome visitors and open for public comment. Name I have at the top of the list here is Chris Ward.
I go.
I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Chris Ward, and I am on your list of personnel approval. And I will hopefully, upon your approval, be teaching Spanish with Angie Holzer next year at the high school. So my husband and I moved here into town about 9 years ago. So we've been here a little while, and I'm looking forward to being fully part of living and working in the Tri-State. Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to make public comment this evening? Last once more. Any other further public comment? Seeing none, we'll move on to motions for consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
And properly moved and seconded, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, state aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Move on to our administrator, director, and superintendent report. You, Doctor.
Well, it is Board Appreciation Week, so I have some wonderful certificates to hand out. And I want to thank you guys for volunteering your time and serving our community in this capacity. Catherine, thank you for helping us out. Josh, I'm sure appreciate all you do for our families and kids. Sarah, thank you for all you do. Bruce. And David, we have yours, so we'll keep this, so we see you back from Florida. So, thank you for all you do. And then currently, a little quick update, we have Sophia Alania And she is in the finals for tennis championship for our region. And she's already qualified for state. So that was, thank you for the last second update. Sure, very excited about her performance. This last week I had a chance to attend some soccer, middle school band or orchestra performances. Also, it's really fun to see softball and baseball getting underway at the same time. In addition, I had a chance to take in the Grand March for prom. And what a great job the teachers and then administrators and Eric Hofer in particular with his announcing, just does a really fabulous job for kids. So it's a really nice event. I want to thank everybody who had a part in it. And then wanted to let people know that we are going to be distributing some TSS funds, some carryover funds to teachers. And so it's really based on the agreement we have with the teachers union. We had some leftover funds. We want to make sure those get distributed. So it could be anywhere from $600 to $1,200, depending on the level on the salary schedule for teachers. But really excited to get those out to teachers because that's the way those funds are intended to be spent each year. So we want to make sure we're doing that. So just let people know that that's coming, and you should see a little bump in your paycheck in June. And hopefully that's something that gets out right away in the first paycheck in June. So looking forward to that.
That's just a one-time payment.
It is just a one-time payment. Yep. And then we'll make sure we built that into the existing salary schedule for next year in accordance with the agreement. So very good. So that's my agenda. It's pretty quick update.
We move on to board committee reports. We had a finance and facility committee. Are there any other committees?
We did policy. We did a lot of policies. In the policy committee, we discussed a bit of the gender identity is coming out by the state laws, so that affected a whole bunch of policies that had gender identity mentioned in it. And so those have all been changed. And then also we are keeping up with the state's law changes that were signed by the governor for requiring districts to have cell phone policies. So I think it's personal electronic device is the term they use. Personal electronic device policies. So we are keeping up with that. And so we have the first reading of our first, personal electronic device policy and regulation also in these policies. But they're very standard policies updated by ISB, and then with the exception of the cell phone policy. Both the middle school and high school weighed in on the cell phone policy and said they feel like that supports the work they're doing and the direction that they're heading. So thanks for that.
And we met for facilities and finance and talked about a wide range of things, some of Jerry's summer projects for facilities, and we broke into some discussion about the possibilities of adjusting bus routes for inside of town to get across the main 5-lane there by Ace. And they're doing some number crunching to see if we can keep student safety a high priority on that section of town anyway. And then we talked about basically bills and some of those things. Is there anything I'm missing, Dr. Schroep?
Nope, that sounds good.
We can move on to new business and action items. We'll start with special education retention bonus. Dr. Knight, if you'll just give them some rundown.
Oh, sure. So we had seven teachers this year that had really high caseloads, and we have a matrix that we use that the teachers and the AEA and Dr. Jen Schilling helped come up with several years ago. And so that says a typical teacher right around 100 would be a pretty hefty, or that's a kind of a full caseload for a special ed teacher. And these teachers were all above 130. So that meant they had extra kids on top of what would be expected normally. And then they also maybe had some more complicated scenarios with kids, or they were helping other teachers that maybe were covering special needs students or students with special needs, but didn't maybe have all the licensing, and we were working as far as getting them the licensing. So these teachers kind of went above and beyond. So we wanted to make sure we didn't lose any of these teachers. So we're offering a retention bonus to incentivize those teachers when they turn their contract in. That's what this proposal is. And it's not uncommon practice for special ed teachers to have a retention bonus around the state.
So we will take motions from the floor.
I'll make a motion to approve the special education bonus as presented.
I'll second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we can proceed to vote. All those in favor state aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion will carry. Move on to new business action item B, 28E operational sharing agreement for shared curriculum services.
So Dr. Schilling, it will be shared with Red Rockford Marble Rock Community School District as a curriculum services support. And so 1 day a week, Wednesdays in the morning, she'll start over at RRMR and then come back to be with us the other days of the week. And what this does for us, similar to what we do with maintenance, our operations director, this generates, we get extra students in this count. And so we will get the 2 students from Rockford plus our 2 students, and that'll be very close to $32,000 that we will then bring in, and that will help all the functions of the district. It's a little more efficient. I do feel that, and I had talked to Dr. Schilling about this from the start, that this might be something we would consider. Last year, we had been sharing Hannah with the AEA and Hannah Hansen with the AEA, and she was serving as our special ed director. And so we were sharing her 2 days. We only got her 2 days a week. And then we got some sharing dollars for her. The AEA had her 1 day a week, and then another district had her 2 days a week. And so we then added a position where there's a teacher coordinator for special education. And then at that point in time, I talked to Dr. Schilling about there may be a scenario where we would want to share you for curriculum or for special ed 1 day a week with a neighboring district. And so it did work out. We were able to do that. So that's really a good financial practice to try and share that way. And so that's what I'm putting in front of you, is just an agreement to share that way. And she's been in that conversation from the beginning and supportive of this process.
Good, we'll take motions from the floor on that.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2080 operational sharing agreement for shared curriculum services as presented.
Second.
It's been properly moved and approved. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor state aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion will carry. Move on to section C, grade 5 literacy curriculum.
So this is to approve the purchasing of grade 5 CKLA core knowledge language arts. This for 6 years. It's a proposal for 6 years. It's $24,000, and it really would help with students and making sure the instruction that they get aligns with standards. And so teachers were a part of a process in looking at this curriculum, and it deals with the core content of language arts. And we did see some nice growth in English language arts around the district, and we'd like to continue to build upon that.
Good. Take motions from the floor there.
I'll make a motion for the 5th grade literacy commission curriculum, excuse me, CKLA. And contract as presented. Contract, yes, sorry.
I'll second.
Been properly moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we can proceed to vote. All those in favor state aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion will carry. Section C, MClass intervention.
So this is a also correlates with curricula of the CKLA curriculum that we just approved. And this is an intervention specifically designed for students at the second level, the tier 2 of intervention support. So when they need a little more support, this program really will provide that. And then give teachers feedback as to how those students are progressing. And it's a 6-year licensing agreement for this program.
Very good. Take motions from the floor.
I'll make a motion for the MClass intervention memorandum.
I'll second.
Been properly moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? I just want to clarify that the last CKLA comes from general funding and this one comes from Title I.
Yeah, we have Title I and possible remaining TQ funding for the intervention.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, we can proceed to vote. All those in favor state aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion will carry. Move on to board policies. Second readings and a handful of first readings, as you mentioned, that were discussed in policy committee.
And a large number of them were simply that gender identity has been removed from probably 15 policies, a large number of policies. And so those, there's still protections afforded for a wide variety of individuals, but that specific language around gender identity has been removed by the state. And so we're just updating our policies to align with that. And then we also had the two policies that deal with the cell phone requirement that the governor and the legislation has passed and signed into law. And that goes into effect immediately, but it takes in, it starts July 1, even though the law goes into effect immediately.
So is there like, I didn't ask this during policy, but I'm curious, like, is there any penalty in place for not following the law?
Well, I guess if we don't bring it up as far as on my end of it, I mean, it could be like an ethics violation if I didn't go forward with it.
Actually, never supposed to say like there'd be fines.
Yeah, I would have to look into that as far as, I guess somebody could always litigate something. But
Sure.
yeah, I'm not aware of the specific penalty.
Correct. I'll make a motion to approve the policies as presented.
Been properly moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Move on to board comments.
So we got a picture of the, I think it was Friday last week, it could have been Thursday, there was like a food service catering that they did. They had brought up, like, they did burgers and hot dogs, and they brought in a whole bunch of food and did a really nice spread. So whoever coordinated that and was part of it, thank you. That looked like it was a really nice thing for the kids, and they really enjoyed it. So,
FFA students.
is that who did
Kick
it?
and tail on the room. Yeah, I got a picture too.
Oh, okay.
Very cool. We had an awesome planning committee meeting just before this that got a lot of feedback, so it'll be interesting to move forward there. The grilling, I'm looking forward to next week. We have graduation coming up this weekend for Kerry Lane on Saturday and the high school on Sunday. So lots of good things for the end of the month.
So I've been on the school board my 8th year, and I would encourage you, if you're free on Saturday, to go to the Kerry Lane graduation. You've probably never seen as many people get excited about somebody graduating from college, high school, as you've ever seen there. Those kids work really hard, and there's a lot of people that are there to welcome them and support them and reward them, and it's just a really cool experience. So if you got some time, it's 1:30. Thank you very much. 2 o'clock at the
First Congressional Church.
First Congressional Church.
Yep.
Right, right off downtown. So
Definitely a
I don't know
program.
where to go or anything, but it's really great to be there.
Definitely a great program for our community. Very good. You can take motions for adjourn.
To adjourn.
Been properly moved and seconded, we're adjourned.
Then we have our
We're
work
going
session.
to move into a work session with the PH.
And Jose, do you want to carry the laptop around? I don't know.
That's a great idea. Come take the card.
What is the plan for walking around the school?
So we were gonna walk around with the architects and then look at different areas of the school. So do you want me to? They're willing to give you a tour at a different time too by yourself if you'd like, or I could put you on FaceTime, or they can carry you around. We can carry the laptop for you.
It would probably be more productive if I could do it in person, if they wouldn't mind doing that when I'm back.
We will do that for you. Absolutely.
All right.
Yep. We'll get that scheduled.
Thank you.
Thank you. We can stop the